On a bright sunny day, November 12, 2001, American Airlines Flight 587 was a regularly scheduled flight from John F. Kennedy Airport to Las Americas International Airport. This Airbus A300 was carrying 251 passengers and 9 crew members at the time, but unfortunately crashed approximately 1 minute and 30 seconds into the flight. Looking at this beautifully drawn timeline, we see that at 9:11 a.m., a Japanese Airlines plane takes off on the same runway our Flight 587 would. Being given the thumbs up at 9:13 and warned of the turbulence from the Japanese Airlines, American Airlines Flight 587 takes off at 9:14. About a minute later, it felt the turbulence of the Japanese Airlines flight, and 30 seconds after that, had its vertical stabilizer separated from the tail section. What you just heard/saw was an animation of the crash with the audio from the recovered black box, which is actually orange. This gives an accurate, if not correct, demonstration of what happened on Flight 587. Welp, womp womp. So why did it separate? Following the FAA and the NTSB, they concluded that the pilot used unnecessary and extensive rudder input. This stressed the vertical stabilizer and caused it to come off the airplane, creating loss of control. Sources state it was the pilot's fault for the aggressive rudder inputs, but it's not like you can punish him anymore. On a normal plane, the tail section should look like this. For Flight 587, it looks something like this. The NTSB actually tested the vertical stabilizer's composite material, concluding that it was stressed beyond its design limits, and that there was an overuse of rudder to counterweight turbulence. If you listen to the date of this crash, it would sound like another aircraft disaster. On September 11, 2001, 4 planes were hijacked, crashing into Pennsylvania, the Pentagon, and the World Trade Centers. Our Flight 587 crashed into a suburban neighborhood in Bell Harbor, New York, which sadly claimed the lives of some actual 9/11 survivors. Looking at this extremely late Ishikawa diagram, we see that the causes are, as mentioned before, poor pilot training and the poor design of the Airbus's vertical stabilizer. Where was I? Oh, right. When this plane crashed, the media and especially the public thought it was another terrorist attack. With that rumor spread, some obvious buildings were evacuated, such as the Empire State Building and the United Nations headquarters, and of course some tunnels and bridges, as authorities hoped it wasn't another terrorist attack 2 months after 9/11. So what changed? Well, first off, the pilots were trained off the Advanced Aircraft Maneuvering Program, or the AAMP, which the NTSB blamed for teaching the pilots the aggressive rudder inputs. The AAMP was created in 1996, which is kind of ironic because it was created to prevent crashes following 1987 to 1996. But what's even more ironic is that some pilots have seen their co-pilots do the same overly aggressive rudder inputs that will be later seen on Flight 587. These co-pilots would respond by basically saying, "Nah bro, it's fine, the program taught me this." So they, as in the FAA and some manufacturers, revised and changed the program to meet the concerns from before. And nothing like this ever happened again. Let's look at our key takeaways from this video. American Airlines Flight 587 crashes after losing its vertical stabilizer mid-flight. This occurred 2 months after 9/11 and had people worried it was another terrorist attack. It crashed in a suburban neighborhood, killing 265 people in total, 260 people on the plane and 5 people on the ground. And the Advanced Aircraft Maneuvering Program is one thing to blame for the overall disaster.